Welcome to the Center for Trauma Therapy. The Center is a nonprofit charitable organization providing trauma-specific therapy to clients who've experienced trauma. My name is Joan Boyd, and I'm one of the registered psychotherapists here at the Center. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the CAP program, which is our client assistant program, which is funded by the United Way. The CAP program helps people who are at the lower end of our sliding scale be able to go even lower. That way, they're not taking money out of their food budget or any other necessary needs that they have in order to afford therapy. This also allows them to come on a regular basis so that their life starts to change. The CAP program has been a very successful program as we've had people come through, do our trauma-specific therapy, and go back to school, get employment, have better relationships within their lives, have an overall life that is better for them. And they're very appreciative of the program itself.
I'm a client of Joan Boyd, who's one of the unbelievably amazing trauma therapists at the Center for Abuse and Trauma Therapy. I started working with Joan after a little over 30 years unsuccessfully trying to help myself through the allopathic medical system with complex PTSD, and very, very unsuccessfully trying. When I was young, I went through basically cult level abuse, which was more than I could handle, far more than I could handle. It really broke me for a long time, and it caused colossal disruptions in my ability to lead a stable life. I come from a relatively good sort of middle-class family. Both my parents are professionals and worked. I discovered in the meantime that trauma runs in families, and they're just extremely good at hiding their own undiagnosed PTSD as well. So I tried to follow suit, and it just didn't work out for me. So despite finishing high school, I couldn't bring myself to go to university. I tried taking some courses. I just had huge identity self-alienation. I didn't know what I wanted to do, didn't know who I was. It seemed like I was a different person every day. And it turns out that's all directly linked back to the unprocessed trauma that I suffered as a kid. Effective help was impossible to find from doctors. I tried for about 30 years. My parents pushed me in that direction, and it wasn't until I stopped listening to people who didn't really know and started listening to myself and reading books and discovering that really only trauma therapists can heal trauma. For some reason, doctors are allowed to say that they can treat trauma, but they really can't. And I know, because I've been there. I've been to over 10 doctors, and I can account for about $43,000 I've spent over the years in therapy. I've accomplished more with Joan in the last, say, 3-4 years than the past 30 put together. In fact, the first 6 months, I accomplished more with Joan than I had roughly 30 years since sort of 1987. My transformation that I'm experiencing now would not have been possible without the funding that you guys have provided to the center. It's my understanding bequeath them with funding every year that they need to reapply for. Very hopeful that you can help them once more. You've really given me a second chance at life here. I'm actually in university now studying to become a trauma specialist psychotherapist, taking courses at Queen's, and I just would not have been able to get here without you.